So 5:30, I will call us to order on this Town Central public hearing on Thursday, August 22nd, 2024, 5:30 p.m. Reverend Gil Bryce.
Join me, if you will. God, we give you thanks for this day. We give you thanks for the goodness of life. Thank you for all the people that are gathered here and for all the people that were here to send. We ask that you would allow us to be people of wisdom and give us grace and love for our neighbors. In your name we pray.
Thank you, sir. We are here tonight to hear from the public on consideration of zoning for a number of parcels of land. There are 5 parcels under consideration here, and we are considering a planned use development zone for that. So we are here tonight to hear from the public regarding that effort. Is there anyone here that would like to share their thoughts with the council? Please, sir.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members. My name is Jack Queener. My wife is Libby Hoyle Queener, and we live on Arabian Lane off of 18 Mile Road, and we use 18 Mile Road every day. Thank you so much for hearing our concerns about the project before you. I have sent each of you an email previously this week, and I hope you will take the opportunity sometime in your deliberations to read and consider that. I'm not going to read that to you tonight. I appreciate that. Each of you, let me say that a different way. I've been involved with community development around South Carolina since the 1970s, when my first county agent boss and I took pictures of informal dumps on the side roads in Newberry County, and we took those to the county council. And the county council established some of the first landfill transfer stations in the state of South Carolina through that work. And since that time, I've been involved with a lot of different projects, and I've seen good development, I've seen bad development, and I've seen everything in between. And I would like to give you a boots on the ground report from 18 Mile Road tonight. I hope each of you has taken time to go to the site of this proposed development and see for yourselves kind of the lay of the land. When I first heard about this, saw the signs on 18 Mile Road. I came to town hall and I inquired as to what was going on. And I found out, well, they want to put some houses and some apartments and things like that down there. So I go up there and I say, where's all this going to take place? And I drive up and I drive down Willie Walker Road. I've never been down to the sewer plant before, had no reason to go down there. So I drive down there and I come back, turn around. And coming out of Willie Walker Road, I had to wait for 15 vehicles to pass on 18 Mile Road before I could pull onto 18 Mile Road. I looked at the dash, it was 3:44 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon. It wasn't rush hour, it wasn't a Clemson game, just an ordinary Thursday afternoon, the end of July. And oh, by the way, it was summer break for the students. We don't have the traffic that we had this week. So I would say to you that this single entrance to this proposed PUD is problematic. The single entrance is just 800 feet away from a three-way stop sign, which backs up traffic every day. You can go over there and sit at that service station and watch for yourself how that traffic backs up. But it's a problem. No engineer would design a road that dumps 6,000 traffic units per day onto 18 Mile Road, just 800 feet. And I measured it on the plat yesterday, 800 feet from the entrance, from that intersection with all of that traffic. You might have read somewhere that the town of Clemson and the DOT spent a lot of money recently at Cherry Road and Old Stone Church Road to resolve this same problem over there. You had a neighborhood, in that case, only 30 or 40 houses. So that's many fewer units than y'all are considering and much, much less traffic that they had to spend a lot of money to resolve. And I don't know how that resolution took place. But I know we had friends over there who couldn't get in and out of their neighborhood because of the traffic generated by that three-way stop. So, well, I mentioned the number of units. Okay, let's look at that 640 number that's in this proposal. You and I and everyone else in the room knows that's just a starter. Okay, there's another 100 acres right behind this PUD that you're considering, and you know a similar proposal is coming from that property sooner rather than later. So if you accept this proposal and give them 650 houses on 70 acres, the next proposal will be for 900 houses on 100 acres. My question is, what are you going to do when D. Cross's property just up the road is sold and the people want to be annexed and they want the same deal. They want 9-point-something houses per acre. And oh, you're contiguous to 70 acres, this former Guy Higdon property. Pretty soon they're going to want to come in and they're going to want their 9-point-something houses per acre. And what you've done is you've set a precedent, and you're going to be hard pressed not to follow that precedent going down the road. And that's a disaster. That's a disaster waiting to happen for 18 Mile Road. That's a disaster waiting to happen for the town of Central. And those results, that disaster starts with the decisions that y'all are considering beginning tonight and considering over the next few days and weeks. I want to read just a line from your own zoning ordinance of section 512 under planned unit development. And it says, a planned residential development is not intended to encourage greater density of development, but rather to encourage ingenuity, resourcefulness in land planning, and to ensure the provision of parks and recreation land and facilities for use of occupants in order to obtain a more desirable environment. That's the guiding principle in your ordinance. That's the goal. That's what your own law says that you should pursue in acting on all of these kinds of proposals and to consider these things. So any ordinance you pass is basically going to be a contract between the city and the developer. I'm not here to teach that lesson tonight, but that's what I understand from everybody that I've spoken with. So everything needs to be clearly enunciated in that ordinance, the number of units, what those units are going to be used for. Are they going to be single-family dwellings? Are they going to be townhouses? Are they going to be whatever they call it, these student apartments 4x4 that rent by the bedroom? And if that's the case, how many of those are going to be devoted to that? And the question, the reality is that answer impacts the traffic and all these other considerations, because a 4-student apartment means more cars and more traffic per unit, if you will. So I encourage you to not accept vague statements like I'm seeing in the statement of intent, and things like, oh, we're going to put another outlet on Highway 88 toward Pendleton. Okay? That's pie in the sky. That's might happen sometime. So don't accept a statement that, oh, we're going to open up a route through the Grange to alleviate the traffic impact on 18 Mile Road. I can tell you that nobody's going to drive that route around through the Grange to get over there to Chapman Hill Road. It's full of potholes right now. I don't know if you've driven down that way lately, but I did a little boots on the ground survey over there too. It's all busted up from the construction traffic, and nobody, I don't know whether it's the town of Central's, the town of Clemson's responsibility or the developer's responsibility, but nobody's gone out there and even put a shovel full of coal patch in the potholes. And we want to be good neighbors, but we want good neighbors. And I can say that there's some questions there for me. So in saying all that, I want to go back to saying don't accept vague statements in your ordinance and your proposal, but set things up and put them in concrete and have the things that are supposed to be paid for by the developers, paid for up front or at a staged point through the process. You know, there was something I read that all the open space amenities have to be developed by the time you issue 70% of your 70% of your certificates of occupancy. And so those are the kinds of things that absolutely need to be specified there. So I think that in summary, the only people that want to see this project are the people who are going to end up with money in their pocket. The people on 18 Mile Road don't want it. They don't want the traffic. They don't want the smoke from the debris burning, which I mentioned in my letter to you. We're 2 miles exactly straight line from the project that was done on the hill down there, and we smelled the smoke for days. We sat on our porch and our eyes burned because they burned all the trees and brush and debris from there. And my letter to you says, require them to bring a tub grinder in, grind all that into mulch and return it to the site. And they talk about being environmentally friendly and environmentally sensitive. Give them the opportunity to do that. I go back to who doesn't want it. The people on 18 Mile Road don't want it. The people with kids in the schools don't want it because the classrooms are already full. You can talk to teachers. I've spoken with the guy who wrote the letter from the school board, school district, and he tells me that they are at optimum capacity. Anything else coming in is a strain. He refers in that letter to a capital improvements plan and all of this, and I said, well, do you have bonds sold, and do you have construction plans, and do you have contracts? And he said, no, this is our long-range improvement plan that we might get funded somewhere down the road, and we might do. Well, see, that's a whole different deal to me than saying we can take your students right now and we have capacity in our schools to accommodate them. So talk to teachers and talk to parents and talk to the people who are on the ground and doing the work. So the people traveling the streets of Central right now to get their kids back and forth to school, they don't want this project. Guess what that's going to do to the traffic problem that y'all have over there at the underpass? Everything's going to be complicated and impacted. I highly respect your planning commission chairman for saying we need a full and comprehensive traffic study on this project before we move forward, and I affirm that. So somebody's going to whisper in your ear and they're going to say, well, you know, this would be good for business in town. Business in town is good. Anybody who's meeting a need has enough rooftops within the range of their business to support their business, and they're going strong. I called yesterday to get somebody to look at my vehicle. They want to make an appointment in September. I've got a car that's broken, and they want me to wait till September to bring it in to see what they can do for it. You know, I tried to book a doctor this week. They're booking at the end of September or the 1st of October. So people are doing okay. You can't even get a plumber. So the only people, again, who want this project are the people who are gonna make money on it. Somebody's gonna say, well, if the city gets the revenue, you know, they're gonna begin to see the economies of scale, and we're gonna be able to lower the taxes in the city because we're gonna have more revenue coming from those people over there. I say to you that that has not worked in community after community. There is no data that validates that, and I'd like you to show me a community that that's happened in. Everywhere, the taxes go up when you start hiring more policemen, and you buy new police cars, and you have to replace your garbage trucks sooner because they're running up 18-mile roads to pick up garbage. You know, all of those factors come in, and the net is a net, and then you're gonna say, oh, well, I guess we gotta raise taxes to get that new fire truck, or to get that new garbage truck. So the data is just not there to say that a big bonus in your tax base is coming from a development like this. So I would say to you this, the decisions that you're facing right now are not only zoning decisions, but they're ethical decisions. Are you representing the citizens of Central who elected you? Are you representing your neighbors who have been here long-term and who have supported the community and who pay out-of-town membership at the rec and supported the businesses on Main Street? Are you supporting, are you going to vote in favor of those people? Or are you supporting the families with kids in the schools already? Or are you voting to support somebody who wants to take the money and walk away? And it's really, really that simple. It's this or this. I would encourage you to negotiate something substantially lower than 650 units, something substantially reduced from 9.3 or 4, or whatever that calculation is per acre. And I would encourage you to make your decision based on the big picture and knowing that while Ed Martin, my good friend, says his property is going to be pastures for as long as he's around, and I respect and affirm that, but somewhere down the road, you're going to end up with things, opportunities, and you're going to be challenged to follow the precedents that you set in the next month. And I appreciate your time. I'll be happy to respond to any questions.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your concern. Anyone else tonight? Mr. Barrett.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor,
Good
Council.
evening.
And I echo some of Mr. Queener's words that he had, especially the up-to-date traffic study. As I stated the last time we were here, when they did the traffic study, the original one for the Lawton Road subdivision, they did it when school was not in session on a holiday weekend, and the numbers are so out of whack, it was ridiculous, so they had to do another one. So we do have to make sure we have a complete, comprehensive traffic study done on this. All right, and from that, as he said, with Willy Wonka Road, has everybody up there been down Willy Wonka Road? It's the most beautiful gravel road around. Okay, so how many lanes is it going to be coming out when they do this? And is it going to still be gravel, or is it going to be substrate and asphalt and median down the middle at the entrance? And as Mr. Queener said, Chapman Hill Road, seriously, they finally got the bridge fixed, I think, didn't they? So people can get out and move in. I spoke to a gentleman this week who had to put his moving in plans on hold for 2 months while he waited to get that bridge fixed so he could move into his house. Are we going to look at the same thing with the Youngblood property that's going to get annexed off and sold to for the PUD? Are they going to add sidewalks, streetlights, all those things you need in a development that size? Because they have it in the one that's directly behind me, and that's only 100 homes. But it's still a cluster development that somebody's going to get hurt. I've called probably once a week to either speak to Mr. McClure, Chief Thompson, about things going on that development back there. The other day I went by and they had the whole road blocked off, chopping up trees in the middle of the road. And they looked at me like I was crazy when I told them that was illegal. They couldn't block the road like that. And that's when I called and left messages to Chief Thompson that they should move along with that. As far as the plans and I don't know all the vocabulary for building, but have we seen any drawings or any in-depth plans of what they're gonna put there? Because as we know, this was a section that Clemson turned down. They didn't want to annex that property into Clemson. And it was going to be hotel, business center, townhouses, condos. Is that what we're gonna have back there? Is it gonna be retail business too? Or have they addressed it? Okay, like I said, it's the same property that Clemson turned down. With that being said, the public needs to know what's going on. I know you guys try and be as transparent as possible, but if the developer's not being transparent with you and laying out exactly what he's doing, or she's doing, or whoever number of stallions is doing, if these people don't lay it out to you, as Mr. Queener said, they're pulling the wool over your eyes, and we're gonna pay for it even more down the road. I mean, as he said, 18-mile road, go through there on a game day weekend. I mean, it's as bad as 76 or 93 getting into Clemson. So you add another 4,000 vehicles, and look what you got. Okay? I understand, I found the comprehensive master plan under ordinances, not under plans, so that was good to find. And I understand the need for the development, and we got the sewers there, but the rest of the infrastructure is not there. And we've got to make sure that the developer is going to pay for that. Can't come out of the town. And that's, as he said, that's where we end up with the net, because the town ends up paying that much more. We just got a new garbage truck, now I have to get another garbage truck. We have to get a few more police patrol cars. Now, there's a lot of expense with that many homes in that size development. We just got to make sure everybody's looking. That's all I got for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Appreciate the time.
Anyone else want to share their thoughts on council tonight? Going once.
Well, I would.
Mr. Brooks.
So, thank you all for hearing from me. So, I am not here tonight on behalf of the Land Commission, just here as a citizen. But I do actually have possession, I guess, of some data that may be of value just in my current role. So, just wanted to suggest that we take a minute to account for some of the numbers here. And I am not trying to add to the kind of scare tactic or something like that. I'm just really trying to put this in context here. So 650 apartment units at a 1.69 occupants per, which is the national average, right? These aren't all apartments, so I'm just doing this so we can shortcut the math a bit. So it's about 1,100 people. Current population here is 5,375. So it's a fair amount for us to recall. And I think what I want to make sure that we have in front of us is less the concern for that number specifically and more the concern for the administrative burden that will cause for us, right? So, and Philip can probably answer this question. I'm not in possession of the numbers exactly, but my guess is right now we're administering somewhere between 10 and 30 certificates of occupancy per year. In year 2025, 2026, we may be looking at a few hundred. And that's probably one of these things that we need to get in front of. So that's one example. I think some of the concerns that Doug brought up regarding the development that we have at Springwood Grove is legitimate. You know, there are obligations I think that the town will need to fill in terms of just maintaining some sense of order and respect for the plans that we've communicated to the developer. We got to get in front of having the right people in the right places to do that. So just making sure that we're aware of that. To me, I want to make sure that folks hear from me. The number itself is big. It's a big number, and that's kind of why I wanted to put it in context. I think that we certainly are capable of administering the plan and keeping the plan in a context that benefits the town, if that's what we feel like we want to do. But what I worry about is more the administration side and the execution side, right? We can come up with all the plans in the world. We come up with ordinances often. It's then becomes incumbent on us to fulfill those plans, enforce those ordinances, keep people honest. Sometimes we're falling a little short. So, thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Mr. Ray?
I'm glad Mr. Brooks went ahead and I was scribbling my notes out while he was talking, so Trip, thanks for the comments. Couple things I want to mention. First of all, I'm not envious of the decisions that you all will have to make over the coming weeks and months. I also am a member of the Planning Commission. I'm here as just an independent citizen expressing my comments. It's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks. I definitely share many of the concerns that have been escalated about traffic concerns with the current design. Thankfully, there's a process for the developer to make improvements based on input that council, planning commission, and the citizens provide. And this hearing tonight is a small part of that. So I'm happy to hear that, and I'm happy for people to be here to express their thoughts, and I'm confident that we can make improvements to what's been proposed, because what's out there right now ain't gonna fly. Second, I do want to mention, I read an article just the other day in the Charleston Post-Courier that mentioned the average income to afford a home in South Carolina has gone up 80% in 6 years to $110,000 a year. People need houses. We have a housing crisis right here in South Carolina. And the idea that you have to make $110,000 it's tough. It's tough for a lot of people. So we need to make sure that people have a place to live. So I mentioned that. And I do want to respond. I heard a comment from Mr. Queener saying that it sounds like, and Mr. Queener, I may have gotten it wrong, but I do disagree that it's okay to say that our businesses downtown are healthy. I think that we have some strong businesses, but if they were really healthy, one of our most popular restaurants wouldn't have closed just a couple weeks ago. And that's a loss for our town. So, and I personally have been working to try to bring a specific business to downtown Central for about 3 months. And just heard from the business owner a few weeks ago that after they spent a lot of money trying to make this happen, their review said, you don't have the population to support this business. And this would have fit our character, in my opinion, very well. So I'm disappointed to hear that. But I say all that to admit that the challenge is there to decide between growth and the protection of our current character and our small town feeling. I will finally say this. I'm glad what we're seeing is for proposed development is on the south side of 123. We've had a lot of development on the north side of the tracks, and I've still got a lot of concerns about further development up there. In this case, I'm excited to see it's not on the north side of the tracks directly. Otherwise, thank you for your service and appreciate letting me speak.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else tonight? Hearing none, I will bring this to a close on the public hearing, Town Center public hearing Thursday, August 22nd, 2024, and we are adjourned. And I will call us to order for a special call meeting Thursday, August 22nd, 2024, Town Central Council. And we will move right into our agenda for this evening, as it's laid out in your agenda packet here. First, we are considering second read permanent zoning on parcel identified as 8573 in your packet.
adopt on second reading ordinance 812-2024, permit zoning of parcel ending in 8573 from ag to general commercial.
Second.
Motion on the table is second reading of ordinance 812-2024, permanent zoning of parcel ending 8573 from ag to general commercial. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Motion carries, thank you. So moving right along here, we are talking now about permanent zoning for parcel ending in 2138, annexing into general commercial.
I move that we adopt on second reading ordinance 812-2024, permit zoning for parcel ending in 2138 and annexation of general commercial.
Second, motion on the table is to adopt on second reading ordinance 812-2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending 2138 and annexation of general commercial. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Motion carries. Thank you. Moving along to second line, or excuse me, item number 2. Review this real quick. We are talking about parcels 9917 and 0764.
I move that we adopt on second reading ordinance 812-2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending in 9917 and annexation to ag, as well as permanent zoning for parcel ending in 0764 and annexation to commercial, or agriculture, sorry.
Second.
Motion on the table is to adopt on second reading ordinance 812-2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending 9917, annexation of agriculture, and also ordinance 812-2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending in 0764, at annexation of agriculture. Any discussion there? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. That motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have a parcel identified as 4092 in your packet.
I move that we adopt on second reading ordinance 812-2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending in 4092 at annexation of R20.
Second.
Motion on the table is to adopt second reading of ordinance 812-2024, permanent zoning for parcel identified as 4092 at annexation of R20. Any discussion there? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Motion carries. Now we're talking about a zoning for parcel number 3102.
I would like to make a motion that we adopt on second reading ordinance 812-2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending in 3102 and annexation of R20.
Second.
Motion on the table is to adopt second reading of ordinance 812-2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending in 3102 at annexation of R20. Any discussion on this item? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Motion carries. Moving right along, we're at 8380, permanent zone for parcel 8380.
I move that we adopt on second reading ordinance 812-2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending in 8380 at annexation of agriculture.
Second.
Motion on the table is to adopt second reading of ordinance 812-2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending in 8380 at annexation of agriculture. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Motion carries. Let me go down through here real quick. Just give me just a second to get my ducks in a row. Okay. Under item number 6 on your agenda, we're going to match these together. So we're discussing parcel 6857, 9858, 0397, 1129, 5525, 1203, 7359, 5959, and 5665. All these were, the proposal is for agriculture on second reading. I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt second reading of ordinance 812, 2024, permit zoning for parcels ending in 6857, 9857, 0397, 1129, 5525, 1203, 7359, 5959, and 5665 at annexation of agriculture.
Second.
Motion on the table is to adopt second reading of ordinances 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for parcels ending in 6857, 9858, 0397, 1129, 5525, 1203, 7359, 5959, and 5665. Any discussion? I will just make a note, that second one is 9858. Make sure that that is correct in our meeting minutes. Any discussion? Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. And that motion carries. Okay. We have a single one here going to our 7965 annexation of R20 is the proposal.
I'd like to make the motion that we adopt on second reading ordinance 812, 2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending in 7965 at annexation of R20.
Second. Motion on the table is to adopt second reading of ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending in 7965 at annexation of R20. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you. Motion carries. I move we adopt on second reading ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending in 6105 at annexation of R20.
Second.
Motion on the table is to adopt second reading of ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending in 6105 at annexation of R20. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Thank you very much. Okay, the next two under item 9 on your agenda are 1096 and 0142.
I move that we adopt on second reading ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for parcel ending in 1096, as well as parcel ending in 0142 at annexation of agriculture.
Second.
Motion on the table is to adopt second reading of ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for parcels ending in 1096 and 0142, both at annexation of agriculture. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. That motion carries. Thank you. Next item is 9446 at Ag. I move that we adopt second reading of ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for portion of parcel ending in 9446 at annexation of agriculture.
Second.
Motion on the table is to adopt second reading of ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for a portion of parcel ending in 9446 at annexation of agriculture. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Motion carries. Okay, segment these out since they're all portions. Bear with us here. First up is 0323.
I move that we adopt on second reading ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for portion of parcel ending in 0323, annexation of agriculture.
Second.
That motion is to adopt second reading of ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for portion of parcel ending in 0323 and annexation of agriculture. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Motion carries. Moving along, I move that we adopt second reading of ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for a portion of parcel ending in 1493 and annexation of agriculture.
Second.
Motion on the table is to adopt second reading of ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for a portion of parcel ending in 1493 and annexation of agriculture. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. Motion carries. Now we're going 4870, also agriculture.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt on second reading ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for a portion of parcel ending in 4870 and annexation of agriculture.
Second.
Motion on the table is to adopt second reading of ordinance 8/12/2024, permanent zoning for portion of parcel ending in 4870 and annexation of agriculture. Any discussion here? All those in favor, raise your right hand, please. And that motion carries. Anything further we need to discuss tonight? Anything we need to bring up? Questions, concerns? Objection, order. Or I can do that if you're aware of it. Stick around.
The date is 22nd.